Welcome to the WFL Draft.
Welcome, everybody, to the stream. We're still setting up a bit, but while we finish setting up real quick, I'm going to talk a little bit before so we can establish some stuff that went down in FWD recently. So if you didn't hear, there was this announcement short we had recently. I don't know if I can play the audio on stream because it's a shorts thing, but I'm going to play the video real quick. And essentially, what we're going to do is we're going to have some of the members take over manager spots in FWD. We're going to have them take over some manager spots. So here on the YouTube, it's going to be Cryptic. He's going to be managing the YouTube. He's going to be managing the videos, the schedule. If you see anything on the YouTube, he probably had some of a hand in it. Then on the website is Siegel. He's going to be managing the website, updating it, adding new little features, doing the blog, doing the newsletter, all that kind of stuff. That's going to be Siegel. And then on the social media is going to be Presley. So on the TikTok and Reddit, you're going to go see over there and see Presley. And on our new X, Facebook, and Instagram accounts, that's also Presley. He's going to be running the social media. He's going to be doing a few posts. I think it was like 2 posts a day. I don't remember exactly what he said, but he's going to be posting a lot over there. We're going to be doing daily YouTube shorts on this channel, and we're going to be weekly long-form videos and WFL streams and other streams, and we'll have some other videos aside from that. But as far as the schedule goes, we will have at least one video, one long-form video per week, and one short per day. And any other content will be in that realm of any other content will be extra on top of that. So you're going to have content every day from FWD. You're going to have something new. It's going to be new and exciting. It's going to be fun for everybody. So we'll just watch the video itself. The song, I don't know if I can play it on stream. So here's the video itself. It should basically say that stuff. So as you can see, it has a few announcements there. So once this finishes, I'll go back and read it for you guys. And we're still setting up. We're getting closer to finishing. Siegel will also be on the stream. He's the one doing the setup right now. So yeah, so it's this big announcement. Cryptic is now the YouTube manager. Daily shorts starting with the one you see here. Weekly videos starting this week. New video formats that we'll try out. The return of James Moore and historical ambiance videos, annual bachelor streams and seasonal sports streams, Siegel on the website, new weekly newsletter and blog posts, also Presley on the social medias, our TikTok and Reddit are being revived, and we have an X, Facebook, and Instagram account. So stay tuned for awesome FWD content coming up. And then it shows the FWD logo. So that's our first in a line of daily shorts. So tune in every day for a new short. We'll have edits. We'll have James Moore shorts. We'll have a few Cryptic makes, a few random ones in there. It's going to be a lot of fun on the shorts hand. And then on the longer video type, we're going to be releasing a new video this week. Our new series, we're going to do FWD. I don't know what the name is exactly. Placeholder name will be FWD Stories. And that is essentially going to be, we're going to be on a video, me and Cryptic, similar format to the streams, but instead of being live, we're just going to be recording a video, and we're going to be talking, and we're going to tell you about events from FWD. So we're going to explain what happened. We're going to talk about it. I think Presley's going to be there too, and we'll have guests sometimes. So if you're in the FWD server and you want to join one of these streams and you ever feel like it, go ahead. You can join and be a guest. But either way, essentially, we're going to do some new video formats starting this week with a story video. And if that does well, we're going to be doing those monthly. And so if those do well, we'll just keep doing them. Maybe we'll increase the amount we make. I don't know exactly what the plan is because we haven't made it yet. But if they do well, we'll see a change in what happens, and hopefully it'll be better for everyone. So that's what's going on in FWD recently. Let's see if I might be able to pull up the Twitter at least. See if I can pull this up. Yeah, okay. I don't know if I can pull the Facebook up yet, but I can. Yes, okay. I can show you that. So let me turn that on real quick. X. Here we go. So that is our X account, formerly Twitter. You probably know the whole deal. It says posts are protected right now. So we'll change that in a minute. So Presley will be making tweets off of that account. So if you want to see Presley tweeting, that's where you go to see him tweeting. He will be tweeting there. Yeah. I guess we need to add it, but we still need to set it up. But here it is. It's FWD Official. FWD Official 2066 is the @ thing. It's entertainment and reaction, all that stuff. I will remove that in a minute. I'm not exactly a Twitter expert or Facebook or Instagram. I've never used those in my life aside from making one for FWD. So, I'm not going to be the one doing those. It's going to be Presley. So if you see Presley, if you see any tweets, if you see any Facebook posts or Instagram posts, those will be on those accounts. I will try to see if I can pull up the Instagram. Let me Instagram. Instagram here. Can I pull up? No. Okay. FWD Official. Can I pull it? Is this it? Is that the right FWD? Looks no, that is not the right one. Weird. I cannot find our account, probably because there's nothing on it yet. Well, there is a post. I think there is a post on the Instagram and the Facebook. So there's something there, and there is the Twitter has nothing on it yet, but you'll see that soon, probably today. I'll have to talk with Presley and see what he's doing with that. Aside from that, I guess what's this? Oh. Okay. Never mind. Okay, I'll go off of that. All right, so we're still setting up. Let me check how far we are on that. Okay, I'm going to put it back on the waiting screen for just a second, and we'll be back with some more content. Hello, everybody. I'm back. We're still setting up, but in the meantime, we have a special guest appearance from Cryptic, who is the YouTube manager. So I will add him to screen here, and we can talk to him real quick about being the YouTube manager. Hello?
Hi.
Hello, this is Cryptic. He's the manager of the YouTube. He's going to be essentially running what's going on here on the YouTube. He's going to be posting most of the daily shorts. He's going to be making a few of the schedules. Is there anything you want to say to the stream, Cryptic?
Hi. Hi. This is like my first time talking, so hi everyone. That's mainly it. Cause like I've never talked to anyone before in my life. Never talked with my mic on, so
That is true. This is Cryptic's first appearance in any voice chat on the server or anything. So he will be making another appearance in the Bachelor stream. So he will be on there, I think, for the full stream. But this is his first appearance on any stream.
So for YouTube and stuff, we're like planning to do like videos we're planning to do videos like mostly like long form like every month, short form like mostly daily. I think daily is what we were trying to do.
I think the schedule we were trying to do is daily shorts and weekly long form. But
Yeah.
each end of one will take like a weekly for every short, for every kind of short. Like there will be a James Moore short every week, but there will be daily shorts overall, and then long form videos will be one a month, but there will be one each week.
Yeah. So
That is sorry.
So we got like a lot of stuff planned. We're planning on doing a bunch of new series, and I think can like revive the YouTube because like the YouTube's been very dead. I'm not gonna lie. It's been so yeah.
That is also not the schedule for the streams and extra videos that aren't like series videos. So if you're worried about like, oh well, what if something, I might post a schedule later, but if I post a schedule and you don't see a specific type of video that you enjoy, don't worry. That just means it's not going to be every single month or week or whatever. It's not going to be every single thing. It's going to be a little bit more spread out or one-offs or whatever. But we will be posting other types of videos. The WFL streams will be separate from that. The Bachelor stream is separate. It's all so any streams at all are not on the schedule because most of our streams are around events, and then our and then there's other videos and shorts and stuff we will make. I think the shorts will be slotted in daily though, so we will have a short every day. Sometimes there'll be random shorts. We have a few random slots, and other long form videos will be their own off thing. So there's one long form a week, and they're all series. They'll all be reoccurring series, and there will be a short every day, and some of them will be not series, some of them will be series, and then that's the schedule. And then anything that we haven't put on the schedule, we will still be making. That doesn't just mean it's going to be only one or the other. I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
So you're gonna be joining us for the whole stream or just a quick appearance?
Yeah, quick appearance. I gotta head out and do something, so
All right. Everybody, this was a quick appearance from Cryptic. You'll see him. We'll also later this week we will be posting a longer form video, which will be talking about, I think it was World War III, correct?
Yes.
So we will be doing that later that week, and Cryptic will be in that one too. So you will see him later this week, and you'll see him in the Bachelor stream, and you'll see him somewhat weekly or daily, somewhat.
Yeah. Okay. So I gotta head out. Bye everyone. Hope you have a good stream.
Thank you for joining the stream real quick, Cryptic. And that was Cryptic, everybody. So that is our new channel manager. If you ever see the YouTube, know that he has a hand in a lot of the stuff we're going to do from now on. All right, I'm going to check in on our progress setting up, and we will see Let's see. Okay, I will. We'll go back to a waiting screen one more time, and then I think we'll be ready. I'll check in though. I'll have to see, but we'll check in real quick. All right, everybody, we're not ready yet, but I have one more thing I'm going to do before we start. So I'm just going to do this until we're ready. I would just like to give a little bit of an update on some of the things that aren't scheduled for the YouTube. So some of the things that I have not touched on yet are the sports. I can't, let's see, when did I say that this was starting? So as far as the basketball goes, the basketball season will be starting in, why is this so unorganized? Accidentally, I did not realize I am so unorganized with what I'm doing. So we will see what on earth I said. Was it the 12th? Let's see, 12. Am I even on the right one? Oh, here we go. The season. I am really unorganized. I apologize, everybody. I was going to say when the season's going to start, and I don't know because I am not an organized person. Looks like the 11th? Maybe? No. When did I say it's going to start? Was it the 4th or the 5th? When is this? I cannot believe I've lost it completely. I've lost completely what I was doing when I said that. What did I say? Did I put it here? Did I put it there? Okay, no, I've lost it. I don't know what I said. So instead, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna make a new one, and we're gonna start on the 11th and 12th, that weekend of January specific. The 11th and 12th of January starts the WBA season, and the WFL normal season is going to start on. Let me look at this. Look at this one. It's going to start on the 28th of January. Yes, it's going to start on the 28th of January, and that's going to be our first weekend. So for everyone waiting for the normal WFL season, where all these players are going to get drafted, or where all the drafted players are going to be playing football, that's when your 28th, 29th. Oh, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong thing again. No, it is the 25th, 26th. Sorry, I've messed up again. So it's the 25th, 26th of January. 25th, 26th of January, and the 11th and 12th. So 11th and 12th is the start of the WBA season, the basketball season, and then the WFL season is going to start on the 25th and 26th. But one more update there. The 30th of November is when the WFL preseason starts. So tune in then, sometime between the 30th and the load faster and the 15th of December. So the WFL preseason is going to be the 30th of November to the 15th of December. So if you want to, we're going to do 2 streams there. So you'll get to witness the preseason 2 of the games. And yes, you will get to see preseason games, and you'll get to see some of these players on their first ever WFL games with their teams. And then you will see the actual games starting on the 25th and 26th of January. And then the WBA season is going to start on the 11th and 12th of January. There's not going to be a WBA preseason. So if you don't see any preseason for that, that's because there is none. So now that I have said that, I'm going to check real quick, but also I'm going to keep talking. So if you're wondering when we start the hockey season, I still need to figure that out. And if you wonder when we start the baseball season, me too. I have no clue when the baseball starts. I'm sorry. I can't. There's no good baseball simulation games yet. So I don't know when on earth that's going to happen. I do see a few that I'm keeping track of, but none of them are out yet. So your guess is as good as mine for when the baseball season is going to start. Anyways, other sports we have on the topic of sports, we have the boxing league is in the same category as baseball, but a little bit more optimistic there. So we may see something happen with boxing. For cornhole, it's in the baseball, but even better than boxing. So cornhole, I will probably find out when that happens soon enough. And cricket, I'd have to talk to Cryptic about that. And other than that, I think that's all the sports that I know of that we will keep track of. So there's all your sports updates as far as FWD films go. Oh yeah, as far as FWD films go, update on the Man in Gray. It's going to take a little bit longer, but that is because we are doing something different for the Man in Gray. We are pivoting, not in a bad way though. Not in a bad way. I don't even know if the version we had was going to be good, but it was all we could have. Now we've found 2 other options. I'm going to try those 2 out. One of them's going to come out sooner. The other is kind of going to come out later. They can both coexist in the same thing. So the Man in Gray will come out somewhat soon. I can't tell you when because I haven't even started working on that version yet, but I will do that today. Some version of the Man in Gray, I'm going to keep a little bit of a surprise for the audience. Some version of the Man in Gray is coming out very soon. So you will see the Man in Gray soon enough. Well, maybe not see based on what our new style is, but and another version of the Man in Gray you will see is coming out a little bit later, but that's going to be a little bit while before we can get that one. But a version of the Man in Gray is coming out soon. Do not fret if you're waiting for the Man in Gray. You're just waiting for it to come out. You want it to come out. You need to. You just can't wait for it. It will come out soon. It will be in a newer format, but it will be, I think, a still good format. Something that again is a lot of people use. So it is going to be better, hopefully, than what we were going to put out in the first place. But that is good news for the viewers because it is going to be much better for you guys. We're going to focus a little bit more on the audio thing since we don't have as much talent, or I guess not talent, enough resources in the visuals yet. A few of our video formats we're going to try out, and maybe even the Man in Gray one coming out sooner, are going to be a little bit more focused on audio, because we have plenty of resources in that department, and I think we can definitely get a lot of good content made audio-based, including our video coming out later this week about World War III. So, yeah, if you are ready for the Man in Gray, don't fret. It's coming out soon. Sometime, I'll say early 2025 is an expectation. Don't take that at face value. If it does not come out then, it's still a possibility, but be hopeful because it is very possible it's going to come out then. So do not fret and do not fear. It is coming out somewhat soon, everybody. So if you're waiting for that Man in Gray, it's coming. Don't worry. It's going to get here. It's going to be good, and it's going to be enjoyable. On that note, for the other FWD Films projects, yeah, we're going to probably do most of them in this first format, unless the second format works, and we'll do them all in the second format too. But the second format I'm trying out, it's a little bit more costly. It's a little bit more out there and extravagant, if you can say. So I don't know how many we're going to be able to do in that. It might just be the Man in Gray. It might just be a one-time thing. It might be every single one of them gets a version made. Who knows? But in the meantime, the Man in Gray and all the films projects are actually going to be done in a different format. We're probably going to change the format of FWD Films. We're probably going to change the name to something more fitting. Maybe the YouTube will call it FWD Films. Who knows? But for now, that is a lot of updates on the films side of things. So let me check. Let's see what is struggling to think of something. I am going to put it back on the waiting screen so I can check on the progress. Again, hopefully this is the last waiting screen you'll have to see. I guess we're gonna play the intro really quick one more time, just so that we can get the. If you're watching just now, you can get the full draft experience. So I'll play the intro one more time for everybody.
Welcome to the WFL Draft.
Welcome, everybody, to the WFL Draft Round 3. Here with me is Siegel.
Yes, hello. Today is going to be a longer draft because there's it's the equivalent of 2 rounds.
Yes, so the first 2 rounds of the draft are 32 picks long, the exact amount of teams we have. The next 2 rounds are going to be 64 picks long. So everybody's going to have a little bit, we're going to have a little bit more people drafted in this draft. So, with that said, here we go. The first team on the clock is Batter. Batter is now on the clock.
Interesting to see who they will pick here.
It is a very interesting outcome. A lot of these expansion teams don't have a lot of their team built yet, so this draft is going to be a lot of first players they have.
Yeah, the first 8 teams are all new to the league. They don't really have many players, so yeah. Oh, and just in, Batter has made their pick. They have
Batter
taken
has, sorry,
Rashad Franco, running back from New York State, ranked B+.
well, so yes, they have picked, Rashad Franco, New York State B+, pretty good player there.
Could easily
So,
become a star player within the next few years.
that is true. Just because they're a B+ or a C+ doesn't mean they're going to be stuck there forever. They can improve and they will improve. And next on the clock is Arusha. Arusha is on the clock. So let's speak a little bit about this last WFL season
Yeah.
while we're waiting for them to make their pick. Let's speak a little bit about this last season because this was a pretty interesting season. I'm pulling up the schedule right now. So, New Jerusalem finished at 9-4 and won the Earth Bowl. So that was an interesting outcome for them. They did not get first place. They did get second seed in the draft. A lot of duplicate records. The 3 through 5 seeds each had 7 and 6. Then 6 through 9 seeds each has 6 and 7, and the remaining 3 teams had 5 and 8 in the WFC. And in the PFC, a little bit more variance of records there. The worst team in the league last season was Paris. So they had the very first pick that wasn't an expansion team or team moving up from a different league. If you didn't know, we had 4 expansion teams: Arusha, Batter, Springfield, and Palermo. And then 2 teams move up from the minor league. And then we had, I think it was, 2 teams move up from the European League. Speaking of the expansion teams, it looks like Arusha has just made their pick. Siegel, do you want to read that?
Yes, Arusha has just made their pick. Darren Phillips, an offensive lineman from Leipzig, he is ranked B+. So just as the previous pick, he could easily become a star.
And a lot of those offensive linemen probably will develop a little better because they have a better chance of getting into the higher ranks of the offensive linemen just because of the difference in levels and all that. And with that said, Springfield is now on the clock. So going back to last year's records, I am going to share this with Siegel so he can also see this as well. Let me just do that real quick. Let me share this with Siegel so he can also see what's going on with that. The records last year. There you go, Siegel. I just sent it to you. If you open that, you can see all the records from last year.
Yeah, okay.
I do have the games up too, but I don't have that pulled up at the moment, so we'll have to wait a bit for that. But as far as the schedule goes, or as far as the rankings go last year, New England was the second worst team, which is why they ended up getting Ernie Livingston. And they went 4-9. And then you get into the teams that were Walrock, Tampa, Denver, Seattle, Cork, and Dublin. All of those teams at 5-8.
Yeah.
Then you look a little further. You have Stockholm, Jerusalem, Los Angeles, Arisdale, and Malmo all going 6-7. Atlanta, Lyon, Boise, Tombstone, and New Jerusalem City all at 7-6. St. Cat and Madrid both went 8-5. Sarajevo and New Jerusalem both went 9-4. Lisbon went 10-3, and Dallas actually had the best record in the league, going 11-2. And with that, Springfield has made their pick.
Yeah. Springfield has decided to pick up another quarterback. They have picked up Willis Juarez from Paris Tech, another B+ ranked player.
And with that pick, we move on to
Palermo will now be on the clock.
Correct. Palermo will now be on the clock. All right. So, what do you see? Who do you think has the most potential this year, Siegel?
I think this year the most potential would probably be. I don't think any teams will have like a drastic fall off. So I think the team with the most potential would probably be. I'll have to probably say. I think it's between Dallas and Sarajevo. Maybe New Jerusalem as well.
That would be an interesting Earth Bowl to have Sarajevo and Dallas go at it instead of our last matchup. The two teams that just barely almost made it but didn't go to the Earth Bowl. They were the teams who lost the championship. So maybe this year we'll see a turnaround and they will be the ones competing for it.
Yeah.
And with that, it looks like Palermo has made their pick. So
has taken Sheldon Patel, linebacker from New Haven, another B+ ranked.
a lot of B pluses going in the first part of this round.
Yeah, I expect them to all go pretty soon.
And with that, Warsaw is now on the clock. So who do you think is going to be the worst team this year?
Oh, the worst team?
Yeah, who do you looking at last year's things and then looking at who they've drafted so far and where the divisions are and all that? Who do you think is going to go to the bottom? Because I doubt Paris is going to do it again. We'll see. But I doubt they're going to do it a second time.
Not to be pessimistic, but I do think it will probably be one of the 8 newer teams added to the league.
Well, the expansion teams?
Yes.
Or the move-up teams. That does make perfect sense. They don't have as established rosters as the other teams. The other teams have been the best teams in the world for 10 or so years now, whereas the new teams have been the one step below that for the past however many years, and the expansion teams haven't even been teams yet.
Yeah. Well, except for a few of them that have been moved up from minor leagues, but they're
Yeah.
especially the Batter, Arusha, Springfield, and Palermo, who were just created, will have the lowest chances of winning the league this season.
Yes. And with that, speaking of these expansion teams again, Warsaw has made their pick.
Yeah, Warsaw has picked up an offensive lineman, Gaston Rivers from New England, with a B+ ranking.
We see another B+ go off the board, and Warsaw adds to their offensive line. And with that, Helsinki is now on the clock. So speaking of Helsinki, how do you think these WFL minor league teams are going to do?
I think they will most likely do better than, as previously mentioned, the other 4 teams. But I think they will not. Maybe one of them could make the playoffs, but I wouldn't say that they have the greatest chances either way.
That is true. We have a lot more teams than the last time we added expansion teams. Speaking of that, in 2057, I think it was like the second season of the WFL, we had one team. I don't think we had any expansion team make the playoffs. I could be wrong. Maybe. So we had New Jerusalem, Stockholm, Jerusalem, Wall Rock, Los Angeles, Dallas. Maybe I think one of them might have actually made the playoffs. Yeah, Cork. I think Cork made the playoffs that first year they got added to the league. It doesn't look like anyone else did. I think it should also be said Cork was the best minor league team that year before.
Yeah.
So, and we, due to unforeseen circumstances last season, we did not actually have a minor league season. So, what?
I have to say though, if any of the minor league teams do make it, I would predict it would be Warsaw, as in the Nordic League of Football, they were one of the better teams.
That is true. And with that, who was it? Helsinki has made their pick.
Yeah, they've taken Major Herman, linebacker from Dillon State, with a B+ ranking.
Billings State, one of the more historically better college teams in the CAB, the college administration. Well, no, not CAB. It would be CAF. CAB was the basketball one, yeah, in the CAB. So speaking of the Warsaw and the Nordic League, we have Zurich is on the clock.
Yeah.
So, do you have the stats pulled up for the Nordic leagues last season?
Hold on, I'll pull that up just a second.
Siegel is our resident expert on our Nordic football, so we will see who exactly was there. And in other talks about these expansion teams, though, the Arusha Mountaineers, 3 times in this draft we will see them. So Boise will be making only 1 pick. Arusha trading. Boise got their 2nd round pick last time. So this is going to be 3 times we see Arusha today. Who knows if they will get like a diamond in the rough, maybe, with all the picks they have down here. Is there something going on with the stream, or is... I just got a thing that says we might... What's going on here?
What happened?
Looks okay to me. I don't know what's going on there, but Something said it was wrong stream, but it looks like it's solved now. So, all right, and is the clock not going anymore? What's happened to the clock?
I don't know.
Something else. The clock is not moving anymore. That's weird. Is it?
I wish I knew why. I actually lost.
Is it playing? No, it doesn't look like it's working. That is a little strange. Let me look this up real quick. Maybe if I take the clock off of the stream and then put it back on? No. Or if I stop sharing it for a second and then, wait a second, where'd my thing go? Something's funky with the layout here. There. There. Open, please. There we go. There we go. The clock is back now. Who was on the clock last?
Zurich, I believe.
Okay, they have made their pick. So let's see what Zurich picked. Seems Zurich has picked Roscoe Ray, linebacker from Texas State, another B+. So with that, Berlin is now on the clock. Have you pulled up the Nordic team stats yet?
Hold on, I need to find them still.
Okay. Let's talk more of last season. Arisdale had a big comeback last season, I believe. Let me check my facts real quick, and if it is right, then I believe. Where did it go? I had to think here. What the? The clock is still working. Yes, it is. That's good. I don't know what was happening there for a second.
Yeah, why did it glitch out? That's pretty strange.
I could hear myself. That was weird. All right, so I can't find where I had it written down.
Okay. I have pulled up my Nordic League stats.
Okay. It seems that Berlin has made their pick, so once we read off the Berlin pick, then we will look into those stats. So can you announce the pick?
Oh, okay, yeah, I will do that. Berlin has picked Emmanuel Doyle, an offensive lineman from Arizona Tech, B-.
Pretty good pick to enhance their team there. Next is Paris. Paris is now on the clock. So speaking of those stats, who was the best team in the Nordic League last year?
There was a tie between. Hold on. Between Svenberg City and Prague. They both ended with 14-1.
Pretty good.
Yeah. Okay. And for speaking of Warsaw was the second best in their division, only behind Krakow. They finished with a 11-4 record, behind Krakow, which finished with a 13-2 record.
That's some pretty good records.
Yeah.
So what's the season looking like for that team? When do you think when's the season going to start this year?
Oh, the season is already happening. It's actually almost over.
Oh, well, what are the what's the word? What does it look like right now?
Right now, at the
Yes.
top of the league, we would have Uppsala from the Swedish team, or the Swedish teams, and we would also have Kiev as well.
That's pretty interesting. Paris has just made their pick. It seems they have picked Glenn Silva, defensive back from St. Catherine State, a B minus. So we're starting to get into the B minus players.
Although there is still one B plus player on the board.
Really? Okay. Well, we will see when he goes. Next is New England. New England is now on the clock. So, who do you predict is going to win the Nordic League this year?
I think, I believe Uppsala will probably win it again.
That would be an interesting result. Let's see. So, when can we expect the championships for that?
In the coming weeks.
In the coming weeks.
Yeah.
That's cool. And where can we hear more about the Nordic League on a more regular schedule?
On Nordic Sports.
That's good. So, what was I going to say? Schedule. I'm blanking at the moment. Give me one sec. And it seems that New England has made their pick. So, who's it here? They have picked Gaylord Navarro, punter from Stockholm State, a B minus. So New England adding to their punting team. And with that said, Wallerock is now on the clock.
Yeah. And another interesting thing, would have to mention, a game that was initially planned for June 23rd, which was later delayed due to weather reasons to July 8th, between the Nordic League team, Djupavogur versus Reykjavik, which actually ended up in an upset for Reykjavik, which was expected to win, and the game was also in Reykjavik, but it was won by Djupavogur, 28-20, which was helped when the wide receiver from Djupavogur, Eric Felixson, ended up running a 73-yard touchdown.
That is an impressive play right there.
Yeah. He is still only 20, so maybe in the coming years he will end up in the draft.
Interesting prospects.
Or he might just be directly signed as he is in the Nordic League of Football.
Interesting. Next, Wallerock has made their pick. Do you want to read it?
Yeah. Wallerock has taken Pierre Romero, tight end from Wheatland University, with a B minus ranking.
All right, there's a tight end for Wallerock. Next, on to Tampa, who is now on the clock. Tampa has actually made two interesting picks this round. Not only have they taken, it was Timmy Barnes, I believe.
I will have to confirm that.
I believe it was
in the first or the second round.
First round, yeah, Timmy Barnes, A-plus
Yeah.
quarterback of Fresno State, and in
Yeah.
the second round, Tampa took Kafil Ali, running back from Zanzibar, who is a very interesting player, even though he is only rated as a B right now. He has amazing potential in the coming years. I predict he's going to be Tampa's starter, and he may even become a star someday because he is got a lot of talent coming out of college. He tore it up with Zanzibar on the football field, and they had a pretty good season last year, I think.
Yeah, I would agree.
And with that, Tampa has made their pick. Tampa has selected Pat Compton, defensive lineman from Frankfurt. And with that, Tampa has picked, so Seattle is now on the clock. So, do you think at some point we will get some videos or some highlights or anything from the Nordic Football League here on the YouTube channel?
Eventually, there will be highlights.
That's an interesting prospect. If you want to see the Nordic football highlights, that will be on this channel at some point. So, in the coming however many weeks or months or however long, expect some of those in addition to the WFL highlights. That is an interesting prospect, and we will see what happens.
Yeah.
And let's see. So we're currently on Seattle. How did they do last season? Seattle last season went 5-8. So a middling team. Obviously, they're a little bit further up in the draft. So not exactly amazing last season, but they did show some potential. And their twice annual game against Sarajevo, always a good game. No matter who you end up, no matter what ends up happening, how good each team is when they play, it's always an interesting time when Sarajevo and Seattle face off.
Yeah.
And with that, Seattle has made their pick.
Seattle has taken John Henderson, a defensive lineman from Cincinnati University, with a B- ranking.
Very interesting player right there. Now, next player on the clock is...
Next team on the clock will be Denver.
Next team on the clock, Denver's on the clock. Real quick, do you want to do the announcing of the players and I'll do the clock thing?
Yeah.
Does that work for you?
Yeah.
All right. So Siegel will be announcing who got taken, and I will be working with the clock, and we'll both be talking about each team as time goes on. So into the playoff bracket. So Denver, I think they also went 5-8 as well. They're actually the worst in their division, which is not a great outlook for Denver. They could have done a little bit better last season. They are a little bit on the decline. They had a little bit of potential there for a second, but they've lost a little bit of that potential in the recent years. But they still have a little bit of hope, so maybe we see them come back this season.
Yeah.
I think at the point we'll start seeing those playoff teams is going to be around Los Angeles, maybe? Who made the playoffs last year? Atlanta. I think maybe Atlanta. Yes, Atlanta is when we will see our first playoff team making picks. Speaking of making picks, Denver has just made their pick.
Denver has taken quarterback Courtney Brady from Boston Tech, who has the B+ ranking, and he's the final B+ ranking. There won't be no more B+ players.
Is there any B's left on the board, or is it just B minuses?
Just B-.
Interesting. So only B- players and under left. So not the most exciting caliber, but again, they could grow. So don't just immediately write off this part of the draft. Anyways, next on the clock is Cork. Cork is now on the clock. So Cork, let's see, where did they end up last season? Cork ended up 5-8, so we're in that 5-8 range. For a few more picks, we'll be in that 5-8. So we'll see a few more teams with that exact record.
Yeah.
Cork, I believe, at some point they won an Earth Bowl. Let me pull up my Earth Bowl stats real quick. I have a lot of stats to pull up and go through. We have a lot of stats written down for this. And here, yes, Earth Bowl results ended up being a Cork win against Paris. So at one point, Paris and Cork were the best two teams in the league. They've fallen off a bit. We'll see if they can regain some of that momentum. It is a little bit shocking considering Cork has one of the best running backs in the league. He's not as good as he used to be. Mason Clancy, he has declined a bit, but he at one point was one of the best in the league and still is one of the best in the league. But there is a few running backs ahead of him. And I think at some point we'll see our best running backs, two of the best teams in the league, have two of the best running backs in the league. And speaking of Cork and all that, they have just made their pick.
Cork has taken Corey Hartman, a linebacker from Athens, with a B- ranking.
A linebacker pick there from Cork. They'll add to their already stacked linebacker room. And moving on now to Dublin. Dublin, you are on the clock. So speaking of those really good running backs, two of them, again, if we see that Earth Bowl matchup you were predicting just a second ago, we will see these two running backs face off. Dmitry Slivkin from Sarajevo and Xavier, how did I say that? I forgot how to say his name, but he had a weird pronunciation of his name, Custer from Dallas. I would say those are the top two guys in the league right now.
Yeah.
I don't know if they can be beat in their rushing stats. Some comparisons, I think, would be maybe Walter Payton for Xavier Custer, and for Dmitry Slivkin, very similar to Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Very similar in play styles, I mean, for both of them. But those two are also some of the best running backs to ever play football ever. So that is a very interesting matchup. The play styles are very similar to each of them. Xavier, I'm just going to say Xavier and hope that's the right pronunciation. Sometimes it's hard to say some of these football names. But he is a standout player. He went to Belgrade Christian High School, and he tore it up.
Yeah.
I think he had like an average of like 5 touchdowns a game for his game. So he was a monster on the field back in his high school days. And he had like 2 or 3 touchdowns a game in college.
Wow.
Not that explosive of a player. Like, he's still a very explosive player, not averaging those numbers in the WFL, but still very much the top league guy. He wasn't in the Star Bowl last year due to some health concerns, but he's back this season. And it seems Dublin has just made their pick. So take it away.
Dublin has taken quarterback Ray Mays from Wheatland Tech with a B- ranking.
A quarterback pick there from Dublin. I forgot who they have at quarterback, but I think he's at best a star, not an all-star. So maybe they need some help in the quarterback room. Next on the clock is Stockholm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Stockholm with a disappointing season last year.
Yes, I believe they went 6-7, so they ended up still having a losing record. Let's see, where did they end up making most of those losses? I can't find that one. Maybe I can. Hold on. Here we go. Yes, here it is. Here is the games last season. They lost to Jerusalem. They won against Denver. They had their bye week. I think it was the 8th week of the season,
Yeah.
and they in their other two division games they actually won both of their. Let's see. So their out of division games. The ones they played against other teams were Los Angeles, which they lost. They lost against Seattle, and then they ended up also losing going up against Cork.
Yeah.
So Stockholm. Oh no, actually, sorry. So they won against Cork. So they won one of their non-divisional games. So maybe if they'd done a little bit better in that non-divisional game category, they could have had a little bit better of a season.
Yeah, losing against Seattle was detrimental for them.
Yes, especially when Seattle went 5-8. Stockholm has just made their.
Yes, Stockholm is taking Major Hancock, a wide receiver from Absaroka Tech, who has a B- ranking.
And with that pick, Jerusalem is now on the clock. Jerusalem, a division mate of Stockholm, they play in the same division together head to head every year.
They also ended with the same stats.
That is true, 6-7. So they had about a similar performance. The other teams that were not Denver and those two ended up all making the playoffs. So, but one interesting thing is that Denver, Boise, New Jerusalem City no longer a part of that division going into this season. So
Yeah.
Jerusalem and Stockholm are going to go only head to head against New Jerusalem themselves. So that gives Stockholm and Jerusalem a better chance. And Springfield, an expansion team, one of the ones that hasn't been a team before, is their 4th division member, meaning those two teams a lot better of a chance this year.
Yeah.
If it was just down to those division games, those two teams would definitely do better.
For sure.
So it is a little bit less division games, though, within the last few years. So I don't know how much that matters, but I think in those division games, they will have a little bit better of a record because they only have to face that New Jerusalem Super Bowl winning team, Earth Bowl winning team.
Yeah.
So a little bit better chance this season for them to make a little bit more of a splash. And Jerusalem has made their pick.
Yes. Jerusalem, they have taken Roy Diaz, a defensive lineman from Absaroka, with a B- ranking.
A defensive lineman bolstering that defensive line. Now we move on to Malmo. Interesting team there. They ended up 6-7, just outside the playoffs. They almost got there, but I think it came down to a few games. They still, for Malmo, though, it's a little bit worse for them because they're still in that same. Their division has not changed except for taking away Cork and Paris, two teams that did not do very well last season. And if anyone is wondering how Cork and Paris played each other in the Earth Bowl one year but ended up being in the same division last year, it's because there was Cork moved over from the orbital to the east. So there's a few changes. New Jerusalem City just did that this last season. They moved over from the WFC to the PFC. So they couldn't play in the Earth Bowl against other teams. I mean, they haven't made an Earth Bowl appearance. But if now they could play against their former division mates in the Earth Bowl if they end up getting there.
Yeah.
Exciting moves. And those teams, the Zurich Warsaw from the Nordic League and Helsinki and Berlin from the WFL Minor League.
Yeah, they've all made it to the same division.
Yes, that's true. They've all been put in the same division, the WFC Europe. So that'll be an interesting battle there, which means one of them has a really good chance to make it into the playoffs this year, considering they are all going to be playing each other in the same. They're all going to be playing in the same division. So one of them actually will very much get there. And with that, Who is it? Malmo has made their pick.
Yes, Momo has taken Les Morales, linebacker from Dixieland Christian with a C+ ranking.
C+ ranking, a linebacker, a few more defense players I'm noticing. And with that, the next team on the clock will be Los Angeles.
Speaking of the new divisions, um, I think with this new divisions system, Lyon will have a better chance at making the playoffs, considering that they were put in a division with 3 new teams added to the league.
That is true. Lion's chances skyrocket this year, especially when they have a good team led by what was his name? I keep forgetting his name. It's either James Conner or Connor James. I think it's Connor James because that's the more weird one. I could be wrong.
Connor James.
Connor James, yes. So Connor James leading Lyon, amazing player. He played for Yellowstone High School, and so he and Xavier Custer had a few battles back in the day, similar to how David Tate on Stockholm and what was a legend. Who was running back on New Jerusalem? He was an amazing player. Hold on. I don't know why I'm blanking on his name. It's really Chad Clayton. Chad Clayton and David Tate.
Yes.
They played together in college, so they have a similar shared history, and they went up against each other in divisions. Now Lyon and Dallas, those matchups are interesting going in further. So those are some older names. Both of those players I just mentioned are retired, but that's an older example of some guys who knew each other for a while before WFL started.
For sure.
And with that, Los Angeles has made their pick.
Yes. Los Angeles has taken Jan Forbes from Manchester Tech with a C+ ranking. He is a linebacker.
And with that pick, we head into Atlanta and our playoff teams. Time to talk about those playoffs. So Atlanta, a bit of a disappointing performance. Not only did they lose to a team that ended up slotting them the lowest playoff team last year, but they also lost to Madrid 61-3 in their first game in the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
So a bit of a disappointment for Atlanta fans. Did not go their way.
No, did not.
They ended up as the 6th seed. So not only that, they ended up being one of the lowest seeded playoff teams there. So one of the lowest seeded playoff teams went up against Madrid and getting their butt kicked. Was not fun for Atlanta fans to watch that happen.
Yeah, although one of their main competitors, Lyon, like from within their division, Lyon has been moved to a different division, so it
That
could
is
be
true. So
easier potentially.
maybe they have a better chance this year.
Although they still have to go up against Sarajevo, so it'll still be difficult.
So not an exactly easy road, but a little bit easier, I think. I think their other teams are New England and Seattle. So
Yeah, which were bottom at the league, pretty much.
yeah, so that is good for them. My prediction, they will end up second in their division. So that is a good outlook for Atlanta fans. And with that, the new pick is in from Atlanta.
Yeah, Atlanta has taken Armando Beltran, a defensive back from Absaroka Tech, with a C+ ranking.
Interesting pick there from Atlanta. Next up, New Jerusalem City, the conference hopper, is now on the clock.
Yeah.
Yeah, so New Jerusalem City has been slotted into a European division, I believe, actually. Not European, but like it was the North? PFC North?
For New Jerusalem City.
Yeah, where were they slotted into?
They are trying to see. They Wait, you said they are with in PFC North.
PFC North with Paris and the Irish teams.
With Paris and the Irish teams.
So they've got a pretty good chance this year. They've been slotted in with 2 middling teams and 1 team that got the lowest record.
Paris did horrible last season. So.
Yeah, they were the worst team in the league last year, and then they got the 2 Irish teams who did okay, but not horrible, but not good. So they might end up going to the playoffs guaranteed. That should be said. A lot of teams that may not have made the playoffs in the last few years will make them now because of those division setups. Because before,
as I mentioned before, Lyon is a good example of that.
Yeah, they did make the playoffs, but it was harder for them. Now that they're in their own division, they're going to get guaranteed into the playoffs at least a few years, I think.
Yeah, as the newer teams get established into the league.
And now, New Jerusalem City has made their pick.
New Jerusalem City has taken Lloyd Castaneda, wide receiver from New Jerusalem Christian, with a C+ ranking.
Next on the clock is St. Catherine. So St. Catherine's now on the clock. They ended up losing in the first round as well, 25-10 though against Lyon. So not as bad as a loss for them.
Mm-hmm.
They are in that, I would say, the hardest division going into this next year. You have Malmo, St. Catherine, Lisbon, and Madrid.
Yeah.
3 playoff teams. And then Malmo, who has been historically good at, probably only did as bad as they did because of their division. Now they're the only one in the division.
Yeah, now they're one of the best in their division, so I expect them to make it back into the playoffs.
Yeah, so this is going to be an interesting division next year, or this year. Interesting division. The PFC East. Look out for that division. We might do a few games from that division here live on the channel because that's going to be some interesting matchups.
Yeah, I do not expect the Springfield Cardinals to do very well this season.
Probably not.
They were put into the historically probably the best division in the league.
So here's a question about this next season. What games do you particularly? I'll ask that question right after this because St. Catherine's just made their pick.
They've taken Zane Hammond, an offensive lineman from New Jerusalem State, with a C+ ranking.
All right, now we move on to Tombstone. You are now on the clock. So back to my question. What division matchups do you think, if we get them, we should try to take advantage of and put them on the streams?
I'm trying to look. Okay. I would think Malmo versus Lisbon could be an interesting game.
So if we get that one, we're going to try to slot that one into the main slot. One division matchup I really want to see is that Sarajevo versus Seattle matchup. Even though those two teams, they're not always, sometimes Sarajevo's not great, sometimes Seattle's not great. No matter what the thing is, there's always an interesting game there. So if that ends up on the schedule and we are able to do that, we're putting that one on the stream, at least one of those 2 matchups.
Yeah.
So we're probably going to see a Lisbon-Malmo matchup live on the channel here, and we're going to see a Sarajevo-Seattle matchup. So stay tuned for those. I don't know how many more division matchups we'll have, but if we get those 2 during the week, we're going to slot those in. And we have 2 chances. We'll see one of the matchups between each of those teams.
For sure.
And they are now, Tombstone has just made their pick.
Tombstone has taken Carmine Figueroa from Tel Aviv Tech with a C+ ranking.
All right, and next on the clock is Madrid. Speaking of that PFC East again, Madrid on the clock. Again, one of the best divisions. The PFC East finished, the teams that are still in the PFC East, Lisbon 10-3, Madrid and St. Catherine tied at 8-5, but I think a tiebreaker for Madrid, and then Malmo 6-7. So, despite the fact Malmo didn't have a winning record last season, not a bad record. And
yeah, but again, Malmo historically has been a good team, so
we'll see if any of those teams maybe lose a few more games to Malmo. Maybe Malmo takes a bit of a step up. I can't remember who they drafted last. They drafted somebody in the first round. And who was their big?
in the first round they picked a linebacker, Jasper McGrath.
Jasper what?
McGrath.
McGrath. Okay.
Who was an A-, so he would be starting too.
Maybe. I don't know how much of a help that is for them, but it's something.
It would bolster their defense. So.
Bolster the defense a bit. That'll be good for them.
Yeah.
We'll see how they end up doing this season. And I believe, yes, Madrid has made their pick. So,
Madrid, they have taken Neil Hebert, tight end from Texonia with a C+ ranking.
and with that, Arisdale now on the clock. So, Arisdale, one of those add-on teams that ended up doing really good this year. New Jerusalem City and Arisdale did really good last year. I don't believe, so out of those four expansion teams of the first ever expansion, those two teams are the best out of those last season. So Arisdale and New Jerusalem City actually played a game against each other in the playoffs. Arisdale won that matchup 28-21. So an interesting thing there. That playoff game would have been two former expansion teams going up and head-to-head game there. They then ended up going on to Dallas and losing their 53-41. But that was still a pretty good matchup for them. Here's a question: do you think a wild card team is going to make it this year to the Earth Bowl?
A wild card team? Like, you mean a team that isn't historically that great, or what?
A team that makes it to the wild card round of the playoffs. So instead of winning their division, they get there win the second or third spot of their division.
I doubt it.
Sorry,
it's not impossible, but I don't think that's what will happen.
Especially with the new thing where now 4 of those 6 playoff spots are going to be taken up by division winners, meaning that there's only 2 spots for a wild card to make it.
Yeah.
And with that, just in time, Arisdale's made their pick. Go ahead and...
Yeah, they've picked Russ Beard, an offensive lineman from Ferranda, C+ ranking.
Next on the clock is Lyon. Arisdale, their pick just in time.
Speaking of Ferranda, where is Ferranda? Where is that place?
Moon.
Oh, it's one of the main colleges.
Now, look how that clip sounds out of context. You ask, where is this city? I just go, Moon.
Oh.
I wonder how that looks to people outside of the server.
Okay. But which country does it mean? Do you know that?
I believe it was New Burbania.
Oh, okay.
Formerly known as University or UEH or the history, whatever that one was.
Yeah, University of Earth History or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Renamed New Burbania. So that is where Ferranda is. Ferranda University. Or whatever the exact saying of that is.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Looking at the schedule and the thing. Who's on the clock again? Lyon. Lyon with that standout team, some pretty good receivers. They ended up losing to Lisbon after beating St. Catherine. They lost 47-13.
Mhm.
It's a meh matchup. Or what I forgot what I was saying. But they're a pretty good team. We've talked about them.
Yeah.
And speaking of talking about them, they've just made their pick.
Yeah, they've taken Lay Penna from University of Israel, C+ ranking. He is a quarterback.
And next on the clock is Boise. The Boise Buffalo, not a team I ever expected to be saying was in the top ranks of the WFL, but here we are.
Yeah. They did
there-
quite good last season.
Yeah, they ended up with a 7-6 record, so they just barely made the playoffs. But from what they used to play, like I never expected them to make it this high in the rankings. So the fact that they were a playoff team and
Yeah, they made it to the WFC championships, but then, or am I wrong? Wait, no, I'm wrong. They made it to the WFC quarterfinals, and
yes,
they were eliminated there.
they beat Tombstone 22-19 and then lost to New Jerusalem 35-21. So
Yeah, that was it.
but they have exceeded my expectations. I don't know how much they're going to exceed them anymore because I think they just got slotted in a new division with like Los Angeles or something.
Yeah. They were put in, with Tampa, Los Angeles, Denver, and Boise.
Well, maybe that would be good for them because looking at the other teams, they didn't actually do that well these past few years. Yeah, we said their names all earlier on. Tampa going 5-8, Denver going 5-8, Los Angeles going 6-7. Interesting there. So actually, Boise has a good chance this year. Speaking of Boise, they've made their pick.
Boise has taken Irving Snyder, defensive lineman from UEH C+ ranking.
There is that UEH. So that is still a university, it's not a country.
Yeah, still quite a prestigious university, I'd say.
And with that, who was in the clock? I just remembered it.
Sarajevo will now be on the
Sarajevo. Sarajevo is now on the clock. So I guess now it's time to talk about Dmitry Slivkin.
Yeah. One of the best players in the league right now, I'd have to say.
I would say he's the best running back, but Xavier Custer is like right there too. It's different playing styles though, so I don't know how much you can say one is better than the other because they have different styles of running back play.
Yeah, totally.
But those are the two best guys. If it isn't Xavier Custer, it is definitely Dmitry Slivkin. So it's one of those two different styles of play. Xavier Custer is heavy on that ground game. Just hand him the ball, he goes. Slivkin a little bit more into that passing game. He does have a little bit more of the passing game, but
there is also Mason Clancy from Cork, who is also up there.
Yeah, Mason Clancy, although he's on Cork, he's not doing as well these days.
Yeah.
He's falling a bit off. But Xavier Custer and Dmitry Slivkin, two of the best guys I've seen play football.
Yeah, I would have to agree.
And with that, Sarajevo has put in their pick.
Sarajevo has taken Lindsey Berger, a defensive back from St. Catherine Tech, with a C+ ranking.
And with that, Dallas is now on the clock. Dallas, best team in the league last year.
Yeah.
Well, it's debatable because they didn't win the Earth Bowl, but record-wise.
Yeah, they did extremely well last season.
11-2, that's that Xavier Custer play right there. That's mostly his doing. That's also due to a trade with Jerusalem that got them wide receiver Juka Pazzi. an extremely underrated player. So Dallas is still a super team. I'm expecting them to maybe even make an Earth Bowl appearance this year because New Jerusalem just lost their quarterback to retirement.
Yeah.
He just won like MVP of the Earth Bowl, and then he ended up losing, or then he ended up retiring. So he retired on a high note, but that left New Jerusalem having to pick a quarterback. I believe they picked a guy out of Newport. I can't remember his exact name, but it looked like Kent Foley.
Yeah, I can check that for you.
It just came to me as I was saying it. So they had to pick him. He's only an A-rated, not an all-star. So we'll have to see if he ends up being able to fill the shoes of two amazing quarterbacks that have played there.
Yeah, they
Or
took Kent Foley from Newport in the first round.
Exactly. So we'll have to see if Kent Foley ends up living up to the New Jerusalem quarterback hype, or if he ends up not performing. And
Justin, Dallas has made their pick. Isaac Schmidt, linebacker from Nice University, with a C+ ranking.
all right, and with that, Lisbon is on the clock. So the Lisbon Seals. Here's where we get to do a little bit of we'll save that for in a second, but we'll take a quick break. Not like we're going to leave the stream off for a second, but we're going to look at something else real quick. Once we finish off the first half of this round, we're going to look at something, then we'll move on and do the rest of the picks. So we'll get to hear a little bit more about Lisbon and New Jerusalem in just a second. But Earth Bowl runner-up.
Yeah. Although I don't expect them to do as well this year.
It was a little bit of a shock for everyone to see them just take the league last year. They did end up getting the second best record as well. So I would say Lisbon, last year's performance was solidly number 2.
Yeah.
You can argue whether Dallas or New Jerusalem ends up in that first spot. Whoever doesn't end up in the first spot belongs in the third spot, because Lisbon, solidly, they're second place, no matter what argument you use for that. So, but we'll see how Lisbon ends up this year. Maybe their leap to fame for a second doesn't end up working out in their 15 minutes. So we'll have to see if it's 15 minutes or it's actually just they're that good. We'll have to see. And speaking of 15 minutes, I don't know how to transition. They've made their pick.
Yeah, Lisbon has taken Leslie Gentry, linebacker from Munich, with a C+ ranking. Next on the clock will be New Jerusalem.
And New Jerusalem is on the clock. So this will be our last pick before we transition into something else, and then we'll come back to the draft. So we're about halfway through
for the second half of the third round.
Yeah, the second half of the third round. So we'll be here a little bit longer, but once this pick is over, we will talk about something else for a second, because there's a few other things I need to touch on in this stream. But anyway, New Jerusalem, Earth Bowl champions. What more is there to say?
Yeah.
I don't even know. Sorry.
You were the best team last year. Well, not the best in all, but they did win the Earth Bowl. So.
Yeah, I don't even know. What is there at this point? They're like the Patriots of the WFL.
Yeah, they've cemented their legacy.
Or maybe the Steelers, since the Steelers won multiple Super Bowls with different guys. That's more. They're the Steelers of the WFL. They have won multiple Super Bowls with multiple different people. Maybe the guys. I don't know exactly what to say for that, but they've won on multiple occasions. It's the team or something.
Yeah.
I don't know what is up, but they always end up winning. We'll see if that stays, though. Who knows? Maybe their new quarterback can't handle the pressure. Maybe they fall off this year. Who knows? That's the excitement of watching football. And New Jerusalem has made their first pick of the third round.
New Jerusalem has taken Rayford Owens, running back from Fresno State, with a C+ ranking.
And with that, we are going to talk about a different subject for just a second. So looking here, I would like to take a quick second to plug the store and talk about specifically the shirts here. As you can see, we have a nice Lisbon Seals shirt. Let me put it on that screen for a second. Get out of settings. Let me put it on that real quick. A nice Lisbon Seals shirt, if anyone is interested. A nice quality shirt. It comes in Lisbon Seals colors, obviously. Comes in multiple different styles. So if you want to rock Lisbon Seals merch, it is there for you. And in a similar topic, not only do we have Lisbon Seals merch, but we also have merch for their Earth Bowl adversaries, the New Jerusalem Brown Bears, in their red, white, and green color schemes here. So if you want to rock shirts from either of those teams, or you just want to wear some FWD merch in general, you can go here. We not only have shirts now with different projects on it, we also have other things like hats and mugs and bags and notebooks and shorts and pants. Right now, we only have the other options in FWD logo, but soon enough, some of these other things will get hats and shirts and pants and all that.
Yeah.
So if anyone feels like, hey, I like FWD, I should put like a whole outfit together, it's an option. I don't know how many people would want to wear an entire FWD outfit, but if you do, there is something out there for you. Anyways, let's look at these playoff results from last year to just have a little bit of analysis. This is the playoff results from last year. You can see the different scores and all that. Ignore the seed numbers because the site has to do that for it to work. But what do you think of these playoff results? Excuse me.
The playoff results.
Here, let me move them to widescreen so everybody can see. So here we have.
Yeah, for me, it was a disappointment because Sarajevo was this close to making it. One touchdown. We lost by one touchdown.
One touchdown. Heartbreaking loss there. And they ended up, their opponent didn't even win the Earth Bowl, so you can't even say that. But
yeah.
they are looking at this new season with a renewed outlook on it. And we'll see what they end up doing, what big moves they end up making to just get that last touchdown this year. That one touchdown they need. Let's see if they can end up getting that. And so, not to delay too much further, let's get back to the draft. What do you say?
Sure. Yeah, let's do that.
All right. Now, on the clock is batter.
Yeah, batter is now on the clock for the second time.
Second time this round, and we will see them twice again tomorrow in the final round of the draft. Are you excited for that final round?
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's not going to be too many great picks. It's the final round.
That's true, and we're not going to get too many great free agents just due to how that works. But we will see what ends up becoming of these last few players. Maybe we'll see like a Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy, he was picked last pick of the draft. Now he's playing on the 49ers. They actually did pretty well, so maybe a player ends up like that. So who would you say is the best player in the WFL right now?
Uh, right now,
Right now.
um, uh, hmm, that's a hard one. Um,
I know it's a little bit hard. I don't know who necessarily stands out as the best. Because there's a few players I could think of you could say like, oh, they're one of the best players, but to say like one guy who's stand out above all, I don't know. We don't have any legends at the moment. Nobody's ranked legend yet.
yeah.
Well, to give us a little bit of time to think on that,
I
Batter
mean,
has
my
just made their
favorite
pick.
player. For me, my favorite player would be Sleevkin, but
Yeah,
I can't say that for everybody.
he's one of the guys I would consider for that. I think Batter has just made their pick.
Yeah. Batter has taken Miles Gutierrez, offensive lineman from Zanzibar with a C+ ranking.
Pretty solid pick there. And now Arusha is back on the clock. And we'll see them again even. So Arusha making a little bit of a splash. I would predict if anyone's going to take the reins of shock this year, I think it's going to be Arusha. I don't know. There's just something about their roster right now. Seems like they're putting together a nice team there. What do you think?
Yeah, Arusha, they have been the most active in building up the roster out of the expansion team so far. So,
I would say if anyone has the biggest chance to just like break out this year, not expected, it's Arusha.
yeah, I think they will compete well with Lyon in the division.
That's the thing. There's also those wild card spots. Maybe Arusha gets one of those on their performance. They won't just get it from winning the division. That's not a guarantee for them. Unlike the teams over in the WFC Europe, one of those teams is getting in guaranteed just because they're in it. They don't have any established teams to play with. But those teams themselves are established in other leagues, so it's not as big of a thing there.
Yeah.
I definitely think, though, Arusha could end up at least second place if Batter doesn't make too many more big moves.
Yeah. I mean, there's also Palermo as well.
There's that, too, but they've been really inactive from what I've seen.
Yeah.
I don't think they've made any big moves. Anyways, I dropped something. And it seems that Arusha, speaking of them, has just made their pick.
Yeah, they've taken Neil Cabrera, linebacker from Jakarta State with the B- ranking. The final B- player.
Final B- player in the draft. Interesting there. So we're on to all the C's there.
Yeah.
Next up, Springfield is on the clock.
Yeah, again, I've said this. I think Springfield probably has the worst chances out of any expansion teams because they were put in historically the best division in the league.
That is true. So I don't know. I don't think they're going to do well either. I think Stockholm or Jerusalem is going to step up to that second spot, and then whoever doesn't is going to be in that third spot. If I was a betting man, I'd put my money on Stockholm taking that second spot.
Yeah,
I would say they have the
it'll be
better.
close between Stockholm and Jerusalem, though. I have to say.
I do think they have a little bit better of a roster over in Stockholm, but Jerusalem is nothing to scoff at. However, they do no longer have Juka Pazzi. He's been gone for a few years now, but he was a driving force in their staying above water. Now that they don't have him, I don't know how much longer they can last until they get that another big franchise guy.
Yeah, for sure.
And it seems Springfield has made their pick.
Yeah, Springfield has picked up Jody Hahn, offensive lineman from Dixieland State, with a C minus ranking.
And now we move on to Palermo is on the clock.
Yeah.
Palermo Seals interesting or Seals. Palermo Wolves, interesting story there from them, isn't it?
Um,
I mean more about the relocations of teams and all that. There's an interesting story behind Palermo's addition to the league.
uh, what would that story be?
The
'Cause-
the original Lisbon team was the Lisbon Bluegrass Rocks, I believe, who then moved to Lyon to become the no wait, I think that's their current name or whatever, but I forgot who the original Lyon's team name was, but it was that right now. Okay, let me reset my mind because I'm mixing up teams. The current team in Lyon was the original Lisbon team. And Palermo was originally inhabited by the Seals. Then, after a while, after the first season, Lisbon moved over to Lyon and became Lyon. And then
yeah, so it's kind of gone full circle.
and a little bit after that, Palermo moved over to Lisbon. And the Seals changed cities, and that gave Lisbon their team back, but that took Palermo's team away. And so for a few years now, they haven't had a team, and they just got their team back.
Yeah.
So they probably have the best outstanding, the best already established atmosphere for a football team, considering they hosted one very recently.
Yeah.
And it's time to announce their pick.
Palermo has taken. Oh, sorry. Palermo, right?
Palermo.
Yeah, Palermo has taken Rusty Bolton, a quarterback from Sarajevo, with a C plus ranking.
Sarajevo, that was not only the team that hosted Dimitri Slivkin, but also his alma mater.
Yeah.
Next on the clock is Warsaw. The Warsaw Hussars. Interesting fact, I think they are the first team to feature their logo not in English.
Yeah.
I believe they are the first team to use the native language in the official logo. I don't believe anyone else has used the language of the area. Maybe that could change. Maybe we see Lyon with their update to the Lions this year. They're moving on to the Lyon Lions. Maybe they change their logo name to their native French.
Yeah.
So we will see how this affects other teams, but right now, as it stands, Warsaw is the only non-English logo in the WFL, which is a little weird considering that it's a world league and that they're all in English, but most of the staff at the WFL are English or do speak English, so it makes sense. And it seems that Warsaw has just made their pick.
Yeah, Warsaw, they have taken Demetrius Foster, quarterback from Bilbao, with a C plus ranking.
All right, Warsaw taking up a quarterback. Now it is time for Helsinki. You are on the clock. Helsinki. Who do you think has the best uniforms in the league?
Oh, the best uniforms?
I know a few are changing here soon, and St. Catherine and New Jerusalem have already updated them, but as it stands at the moment,
Okay, the best in the whole league. I would have to say.
One uniform I really like going into the season is that Brown Bears all white option they've just added. I think that's pretty good uniform, if I do say so
Uh,
myself.
yeah. Hold on. I'm trying to look at the uniforms again. Um, Okay, I'm just looking. Um, I do have to say I really like the Warsaw uniform.
Pretty clean uniforms there.
Yeah.
It is now time that Helsinki has made their pick.
Yeah, Helsinki, they have taken Parker Jacobs, an offensive lineman from Seattle State with a C+ rating.
Next on the clock is Zurich.
Yeah, Zurich also another expansion team.
That is true. Zurich Jaguars. Not typically an animal you see over in Germany, but or in Switzerland.
Yeah, I guess the people who decided to come up with the team name just really like Jaguars or something.
Yeah, they figured like, hey, well, we need some, and you don't typically see.
Or
Uh,
maybe, or maybe at the Zurich Zoo there's like a infamous jaguar or something like.
yeah, maybe Zurich has become famous for a jaguar. I've not studied up on the history of the Zurich Zoo, however, so I wouldn't be able to say.
Yeah, me neither. I don't know too much about Swiss history.
Me neither. So, what was I going to say next? What was I going to say next? Who do you think has the best colors right after this pick that has just come in from Zurich?
The best, like the best color scheme.
Yes, answer that after because Zurich just made their pick. So
Yeah, Zurich has taken Orlando Greer, a defensive lineman from New England with a C+ ranking.
now Berlin is on the clock. So back to our question: best color scheme.
Best color scheme,
Which
like
one of those,
on the uniforms
or just overall? Mostly logos.
for logos.
Whose color
Uh,
scheme blends together the best, or looks the best in your eyes?
uh, mhm. Um, I mean, I don't want to have an pirate. Wait, actually, no. Now that I'm looking at it again, I think. Hmm, I'm just looking at it right now. I really like the Madrid color scheme.
The black, yellow, and red.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a good pick for color scheme. I don't know if I could say my favorite color scheme, but Madrid would definitely be up there. And Berlin has just made their pick.
Yes. Berlin has taken Lindsey Patterson, a defensive lineman from New Jerusalem Christian with a C+ ranking.
Now on to Paris. Paris, you are on the clock.
Yeah.
The Paris football team originally named the Paris National League, a part of the same naming scheme as those teams. The only one who's still going to keep their original long name out of those three longer named teams is going to be Madrid, because of the Mad Conquistadors. That actually somewhat works. However, the original namer for all the other, for the Lyon, currently Lyon, formerly Lisbon, and the Paris teams, gave them a bit of a complicated name scheme.
Yeah. I
The names,
really don't like that name.
I don't really get the Paris National League Paris naming scheme, or the Lyon Bluegrass Rocks, or I think it might have been like
Yeah,
the
they're just I don't know. I just don't like those names. They're just kind of
Grass
silly.
Chasers, I think was the original Lisbon name. So
Yeah.
the original name of the Lyon team that used to play in Lisbon. Uh, Luckily, when Palermo moved over to Lisbon and became Lisbon, that gave some of the fans in the area a little bit of relief from the weirder name. But in recent years, now they're moving away from those names. But Madrid is this one team who's going to keep that name, and because it kind of works. The Mad Conquistadors is a little weird, but Conquistadors itself works in the context of Madrid. And Paris has made their pick.
Paris has taken Milan Espinoza, an offensive lineman from Wheatland Tech, with a C+ ranking.
Next on the clock, New England is now on the clock.
Is Wheatland also on the moon?
No, Wheatland is the current name for it's the name of a state in Jesus Land.
Oh,
That like a Kansas area,
okay.
Missouri, that area of the country, a little bit more known for their wheat. Nebraska, stuff like that. I don't know if everyone there's known for wheat, but a lot of wheat over there.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
So yeah, Wheatland, and that would be the Wheatland University. So that would be like one of the state universities, not Wheatland State, though. That's a different university. I don't know exactly how college naming works, but you know. Anyways, who was on the clock last? I just forgot who we were doing.
It would be currently on the clock would be New England.
New England, okay. Let's see if they can pick another guy to bolster their offense for the incoming of Ernie Livingston. It's recently been reported that the reason Ernie Livingston fell a few picks is due to a few off-field concerns about
his behavior.
Specifically a little bit of reckless driving, and what was thought to be a DUI, but has been confirmed was not a DUI.
Yeah.
So something happened with him in a car. Nobody got hurt or injured, but the car sustained a little bit of damage, so he moved down a few picks. But New England took him, and so now they'll get to benefit from his talent. Maybe New England can move up from that low spot and move up into a top spot.
Oh, and New England just in with their pick. With only 10 seconds left on the clock, they've taken Ahmad Garza, offensive lineman from Tel Aviv Tech, with a C+ ranking. And next on the clock will be Wallrock.
Wallrock is now on the clock.
Yeah.
Wallrock, the original winner of the Earth Bowl.
Yeah. One of the moon teams as well.
Interesting. They kind of didn't do as well. 5-8 last season. They actually fell beneath their expansion team partner in Arizona. I mean, by expansion team partner, I mean same country. You get what I mean. Not expanded at the same time, not added at the same time, but they're part of the same country. So Arizona moving ahead of their rivals in Wallrock. Interesting outcome in recent years. Let's see. The Wallrock Couriers, formerly tight end Why am I forgetting his name now? Alton Stewart. Alton Stewart, famous tight end from that team, no longer on the field anymore. Original Earth Bowl MVP.
Uh, where is he now? Is he still with?
He retired.
He retired. Okay.
He's retired and he's no longer on any football teams, but he retired with Wall Rock, never left them. And
Mhm.
Wall Rock has just inputted their pick.
Yeah. Waller Rock. They have taken Domingo Bates, a defensive back from Melbourne Christian, and next on the clock will be Tampa.
Tampa Tiger Sharks, again, they took Timmy Barnes and then they took Kafil Ali. So two standout players that could definitely help them in the years to come. Maybe Tampa's going to focus on building a younger roster. Maybe in the coming years they'll be team on the top of the league once again.
Yeah, for sure.
So out of the teams of the league, let's see. So yeah, you have the best teams being Dallas, Lisbon, New Jerusalem, Sarajevo. I'd say Madrid and St. Catherine are up there. Malmo is hard to say. Tombstone is definitely up there. They've been consistently a playoff team. Haven't gotten to the Earth Bowl, haven't gone much further, but they are consistently a playoff team. So I would say Tombstone's up there with the better teams.
Yeah.
And Atlanta was up there.
Okay. Yeah. Tombstone. Tombstone. They were one of the 7-6 teams last season.
Yeah. So they weren't horrible. They weren't great, but again, that's what they're very consistently not out of the playoffs. They're very consistently they do make the playoffs.
Yeah.
And with that, Tampa has just inputted their pick.
Yeah. Tampa. They have taken Efren Long, a defensive lineman for Jerusalem University.
Now on the clock is Seattle.
Yes, Seattle was not on the clock.
So Seattle Sea Dragons once again calling attention to their rivalry with Sarajevo. Always a fun game when those two go head to head. Never a dull moment. So it's what's a comparison to that you can think of? A team that two teams that are good or bad, they always have an entertaining game.
Ooh. Good or bad, always have an entertaining game.
Between the two of them.
Between Seattle and who?
Sarajevo.
Oh, and Sarajevo.
If you were to think of other examples of that, who would be a good comparison
Like between two teams.
between two actual teams right now?
Um,
Or just historically or whatever, that were always good against the two of each.
I would say, uh, I would have to say probably Malmo versus St. Catherine.
Mhm. That is true. That's another matchup that never disappoints.
Yeah.
And now on the pick, who is it? Seattle's made their pick.
They've taken Daryl Phelps, a quarterback from Los Angeles Tech, with a C+ ranking.
Next
Next
on
on the clock will be Denver.
Denver Eagles. They had a promising team at first in the first season, and it's just kind of fallen off for them in general.
Yeah, I would have to agree.
Denver Eagles, always a good defense, though. Definitely kept their defense in top condition over the years.
Yeah, I would have to agree.
Which team do you think is going to get perfectly middle this next year? Someone you think is going to be the definition this year of just like if they're in the middle?
Oh, like just the definition of just a middle team.
Yeah, definition of like they'll be around 500, so like the same wins as losses, but they're not going to be. They're not too bad, but not too good. They're not going to make the playoffs, but they're also not going to get a super high draft pick. Just going to stick around the middle.
Um, trying to think, but probably I would have to say probably like Jerusalem.
That would make sense. I could see them sticking around there. Denver has just inputted their pick.
Yeah, Denver, they've taken Freeman Peck, a defensive back from Nanjing State with a C+ ranking.
Interesting. They've taken a defensive player to bolster that already good defense. Next on the clock, Cork.
Cork is now on the clock.
So Mason Clancy. Who else was there? Who else is on that Cork roster? Or is he just the main guy there? I think he had somebody else. Maybe he was on defense. Caden Rush, maybe? Let me check. They have Caden Rush. It's Caden Rush paired with Eric Noel and Stephon Hall. A pretty good star. Not all stars there, but pretty good consistent linebacker core right there.
Yeah.
Mason Clancy at halfback. Del Shepard recently drafted going into the wide receiver slot. Billings State standout. Del Shepard, who just got drafted first round of this draft. So that will bolster their offense a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Also have Pedro Dyer on their defensive line. On their offensive line, they have Con Sheenhen. And then they have Brandon Quinn at quarterback. That's a few of their better players. And speaking of their better players, here they are. They've just made their pick.
Cork has taken Alphonse Knapp, running back from Fresno State with a C+ ranking.
All right, and with that, the other Irish team, Dublin, is now on the clock. I accidentally just put the welcome sign over the stream.
Interesting that both Irish teams ended up with about the same ranking.
What did you say?
Interesting that both Irish teams ended up with the same ranking.
It's true. They're both about that middle spot. They both got 5 and 8. Despite being in different divisions, they both ended up. Cork ended up at the 5th spot in their division, but that's the PFC East, historically good. And then the PFC Central, Dublin ended up at about 4, so about middle for each of them.
Well, yeah, but now they're going to be in the same division, so we'll see some. I think it'll be an interesting rivalry between the two teams.
That's true. A rivalry we haven't seen really too much in the past few years, despite them both being Irish teams. They just get united because of this close proximity to each other.
I think it will be an interesting Irish rivalry.
The Irish rivalry, we can even have. Maybe we should put that one on. We should try to see if we have any St. Catherine Jerusalem games. If we have any Cork Dublin games. If we have any who's the other one? Like Arisdale Walrock games. We should try to put those on stream as well. Advertise it as like the whatever country bowl, like the Israel Bowl or the Ireland Bowl, or
Yeah.
interesting players. And Dublin has just inputted a pick.
Yeah. Dublin has taken Stefan Benson, wide receiver from Barcelona Tech, with the C+ ranking.
Next on the clock is Stockholm. Bro.
I also believe that was the final C+ ranked player.
Really?
I believe so.
Interesting. See, now it's saying my internet's. Well, it looks fine to me. I don't know what they're
I
talking.
can still hear you, so.
And we have 2 viewers on the stream at the moment. Two
Well, I
viewers.
mean, one of them is me, so
So we have 1 viewer on the stream that isn't us.
I wonder who that is.
Interesting.
Yeah, currently on the clock is Stockholm.
Stockholm Bros.
Looking forward to their season this year.
Let's see. Stockholm, their roster includes some pretty good stars. Peter Wilcox at punter. Deshaun Kim at free safety. Dolph Svensson at outside linebacker. Patrick Svensson on the defensive line. They just added Seymour Hernandez to that defensive line. William Collins on the offensive line. Adam Lindgren at running back. They have Andreas Wallen as a tight end. Oscar Johansson as a wide receiver, and Jorgen Kjelberg.
Jürgen Schellberg.
Bit of a celebrity name right there.
Yeah, who was the son of the Nordic Emperor Felix.
And Stockholm has just made their pick.
They have picked up Joshua Kirksrud, a kicker from Sena State, with a C ranking.
All right, next on the clock, Jerusalem.
Yeah, Jerusalem now on the clock.
I cannot guarantee any matchups that are not divisional, but if you were to see one matchup that was not based on just division, who would you say you'd want the 2 teams to play most?
I would have to say I think Sarajevo versus New Jerusalem.
That would be a good matchup.
Yeah.
I would like to see that one happen as well. I would even predict that Sarajevo might get the win. I don't know exactly how the schedule is going to go this season because we've got a little bit different of a schedule due to the expansion. So I cannot touch on what the schedule is yet. We're going to have to wait till a little bit after the draft to get that schedule in, and everyone will be able to see who is playing who.
Yeah, I do think it would be an interesting game.
That is true. I wish to see that game. Let's hope it happens. But again, I can't guarantee anything unless it's a divisional matchup. All I can say is the divisional matchups will happen. And outside of that, I have no specific info on who's getting what games. But we will see. We will try to get all games, or at least one game a week, streamed on this channel every year. And the pick has just been put in for Jerusalem.
Yeah, Jerusalem has taken Eloy O'Connor, linebacker from Jakarta State.
All right, next on the clock is Malmo.
Yeah, Malmo.
I would say one thing. I think this stream is going much better than our past 2 streams on the draft.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I think we finally hit the good, the right format. And this is going to be how we're going to do the next stream probably next year.
Yeah, tomorrow. Yeah.
Tomorrow. Oh yeah. Well, even then though, like going into future drafts, I think this setup will serve us well.
Hopefully in future drafts, more people will join us.
That's true. Hopefully, as we grow and maybe we can get more people to get on more consistently and all that. Better scheduling. So let's. What is one last thing to touch on before this draft pick is set in? Let's look at. I don't know. There's the draft pick. The draft pick has just been put in for Malmo.
Yeah, Malmo has taken Jewel Archer, an offensive lineman from Aviation Force Academy with a C ranking.
All right, and with that, Los Angeles is on the clock. So, Siegel, tell us a bit about your plan for the website now that you're the one going to be in charge of that.
For the website,
Yes.
I still think I need to brainstorm some things I would like to do.
Well, we know there's going to be a weekly newsletter and a weekly blog.
Yeah, ideally. Sometimes it might be delayed a little bit, but hopefully not.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing with all schedules. Sometimes there's going to be some interruptions, but on average, we're going to get a weekly blog, weekly website, or a weekly newsletter. But yeah, if you want to see any more updates from the website or anything like that, people just tell Siegel, and because he's the one doing that right now. So if you think there's a feature the website should try out, send that suggestion to Siegel, and we'll see if he can do it. We are a little bit limited due to our website builder, but everyone's limited by website builder, so we can't like code in an entire new thing that no other website has. But you know, we can try our best to fit different things in there.
Yeah.
And the pick is in for Los Angeles?
Yeah, Los Angeles has taken Terrence Mayo, a running back from New Jerusalem Tech with a C ranking.
All right. And next up is Atlanta. Atlanta, you are on the clock.
Yeah.
So what do you think about the new YouTube updates?
I think Cryptic is doing a good job with updating the channel.
Did you hear the schedule we have set up?
Yeah, weekly videos and daily shorts.
Yes. So the content will rotate from being me and Cryptic. Some things he's going to do, some things I'm going to do. There's one or two things that we're going to switch. So like one week he'll do that, the other week I'll do that. So it'll be exciting to say the least.
Yeah.
And then Presley's going to be on the social medias. So if anyone wants to see on our X account, Facebook, Instagram we just got, or if you want to go back to the TikTok and the Reddit and see those come back to life, all of those will be under Presley's watch.
Yeah.
I think he said he's going to try twice daily to post on everything. I don't know exactly what the schedule is, but I think that's around there. We'll see the exact thing. But he's going to post a bit on there.
Also, it seems that many people who are subscribed to the channel aren't in the server. So people who are subscribed and aren't in the server link is like in almost every single video and in the channel description. So if you would like to join, please do.
Yes, if you are watching this video, the pick is in. I want to say this real quick. If you are watching this video and you're watching this stream and you see that we have the other social medias, go to X, go to Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Discord, Reddit, all the other things, and join, because there's going to be different things on all of the different platforms, and some of them you might want to see.
Yeah.
So there'll be different content. The TikTok may be very similar to our YouTube Shorts, but outside of that, everything's going to have different kinds of content, and it's going to be a bit of a. You're going to want to see everything. So the pick is now in.
Yeah, Atlanta has taken Wilson Anderson, defensive lineman from Los Angeles Tech, with a C ranking.
Next up is New Jerusalem City. A funny little thing about New Jerusalem City. New Jerusalem. A funny little thing about New Jerusalem City is they took a player in the first round, Mohammed Navarro from Mecca Muslim.
Yeah.
So it kind of seems it's a little funny to me that the one team named the Christians took the one player from the Muslim university.
Yeah, that's kind of funny.
It does go to show that there is no team in the WFL that is specifically any religion or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's just a name, and so and also so Jesus Land itself is not a one religion country as you might think from the name. It's just named that.
Yeah. Also, speaking of the YouTube channel, I am excited to see the return of James Moore.
Yes, James Moore is coming back. He's going to be weekly. He's going to have one short every week, and he's also going to have a longer video every month.
Yeah, I'm excited to see James Moore come back.
Also, another update on James Moore is that he's not going to be the only one. Islamic Info is going to have their own thing. They're also going to have weekly shorts from their own news anchor.
What is the name of the news anchor?
I do not know yet. Cryptic has not revealed that yet.
Okay. So we'll see when that comes out.
All I know so far is that there's going to be Islamic Info shorts, though, so stay tuned for both news, and you'll get news from all over the world. And if they do well, we'll introduce even more newscasters. Anyway, the pick is in for New Jerusalem City.
Yeah, New Jerusalem City. They have taken Orrin Farmer, running back from Ground Force Academy.
St. Catherine is now on the clock. Looking at the stream, we're getting up into the 2.5 hour mark, so we're going to have to. So once the draft is over, we're going to finish up here. I have another video I have to film with Cryptic and Presley, so hopefully there's still enough time to do that. If not, we'll try tomorrow. But
yeah, we have 10 more picks left.
10 more picks left. Not too much, so draft is the third round's almost over. You'll see another short upload tomorrow. If you haven't seen, we already have a short up today. I showed it on stream at the start of the stream. So, yeah. Also, if you missed the start of the stream, Cryptic made an appearance. So if you have not seen Cryptic's appearance and you want to know more about Cryptic and what he does, he made his first appearance talking anywhere on the Discord at all. So go check that out. Rewind the stream after it's over and go check that out. First speaking appearance we've ever heard from Cryptic. I've never heard his voice before. Sounds pretty normal to me, though.
Yeah, me neither. I haven't heard his voice before either.
I think he said he has not done any voice thing on the server, even like just us. Never. So that is his first appearance ever. So that's pretty exciting. And you can see he talked a little bit about what he's going to do. So if nobody, what do you say?
You said at the start of the stream?
At the start of the stream, yeah. While we were waiting and getting set up and all that, he talked. And the pick is in.
St. Catherine has picked up Chris Delgado, a running back from St. Catherine State, with a C rank, so he won't have to go very far to get to his team.
Yeah, he doesn't have to move very far to go to his news. He just go down the road. And next on the clock is Tombstone. Tombstone, you're on the clock. So yeah, we're Siegel on the website, Cryptic on the YouTube, Presley on the social media. I still need to find someone who's going to manage the Discord. We might be out of people to manage those, so I may have to do that myself. But I'm guessing the store is probably going to be me still too.
Yeah.
But That means now for a lot of content, I'm not going to be the only one posting. So content's going to improve. It's not going to be a one-man show except for the Discord. Now everybody's getting in on some other stuff.
Yeah.
Because if you guys didn't know before, I was posting on the YouTube and doing all the other stuff. I couldn't figure out how to give access to other people. I finally figured out how to give access to other people to the channels. Finally found the button that allows that. So now other people are going to be managing and stuff, and it's actually going to be improving quality.
Yeah.
All right, and the pick is in for Tombstone.
Tombstone has taken Shirley Crawford, running back from the West Bank, with a C- ranking.
Next on the clock is Madrid.
Yeah. Madrid is on the clock now.
Let's see what else. Oh yeah, here's a question. What design do you want to see next on the store? Do you want to see like a sports team get a design put up, or what do you think would be a good design next for the store?
For the store. I'm trying to think right now what could be added to the store.
We could try like album covers from the music stuff. We could try sports teams logos. We still have a lot of those to go through. We still have other stuff. Maybe we could try like
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that could be done. Oh, apparently there's also 3 viewers right now.
There's 3 viewers. Hey, 3 viewers. That means at least 2 people are watching?
No, I actually closed my tab, so that means it's 3 legit viewers.
Oh, that's cool. So 3
2 of them just left.
Okay. They did not like being mentioned. They're like, don't mention me. Stop talking about me.
I wonder who they were. That's kind of interesting.
Thank you to the 1 viewer who stayed. They don't mind being talked about.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny. It's like, we mention you, you're gone. It's like the opposite of what you usually people pay to get mentioned. And after you get mentioned, you gotta go. That's a new stream update. Every time we mention a viewer, they get kicked off the stream. That's how it works now.
Yeah. Madrid with their pick, they just picked Mariano Cervantes, wide receiver from Texas Tech, with a C ranking.
Next on the clock is Arisdale. A few of these teams getting their picks in at the very last second. A few of them have a little bit of contemplation to do. See, anything else you want to touch on about the last few seasons?
But the last few seasons, how about we go over like all the Earth Bowl winners so far?
That's a good idea. I'll get the list right here. The last few Earth Bowl winners in recent years.
New Jerusalem has won the past 2 years, actually.
That's true. New Jerusalem.
No, they appeared in the past 2 years. They lost 2 years ago.
So they beat Lisbon 69-30 in the most recent one. And the ones before that, St. Catherine won 52-49.
So it was like a redemption for them.
Yeah. And then New England beat Los Angeles 77-70. What a game that was.
Yeah.
Really shows you that New England, like, I don't know what happened to them. They just like completely fell off the face of the earth.
We also had the 9th one. The 8th one. It was Atlanta versus New Jerusalem. New Jerusalem won 49-15. But the 7th season was an interesting one. 3-2, Stockholm to New England.
It was a field goal and a safety.
Yeah, what a strange game.
Okay, we've just got the next pick in.
Aristel has taken Emery Warren, offensive lineman from Lyon.
Next on the clock is Lyon. So yeah, that 3-2, that was Stockholm versus New England. That gave Stockholm their first Earth Bowl win So New England has appeared twice. New England, I don't know what happened in that game.
Yeah.
That means all the scoring happened while Stockholm's offense was on the field
Yeah.
because the
That,
kicker
that's
kicked the
kind of
field goal.
yeah. That's kind of an interest. That means like the defense was really good that game. If it was such low scoring.
Yeah, defenses went off during that game. That shows the power of Deshaun Kim and Dolph Svensson, some of the best defensive players in recent WFL history. They did not let the New England offense do anything that game.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was a
That was what an interesting Earth Bowl that was.
yeah.
Uh, the
Funny
year
face
before,
to have that one. Sorry.
St. Catherine versus New Jerusalem, 49-48. So they have like a bit of a rivalry with St. Catherine both times against New Jerusalem.
Yes, there is a bit of an Earth Bowl rivalry. So far, St. Catherine is winning that rivalry,
Yeah,
but they have got two Earth Bowls, both of them against New Jerusalem. So it's like the Giants and the Patriots.
yeah.
It's
And
like
then the
the
year
Giants.
before, Paris made an appearance and lost to Cork by 12 points.
What a
On,
juxtaposition it is that New England was both in the highest scoring Earth Bowl and the lowest scoring Earth Bowl.
uh, New England?
New England, they
Yeah, that's so interesting.
the pick is now in.
Yeah, Lyon has taken Edgar Bender, running back from Providence with a C ranking.
Next on the clock is Arusha, their final appearance in this round.
Yeah.
So Arusha, yeah, they're going to get three guys from this. They're going to bolster their team, bolster their ranks a bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it is weird. So one Earth Bowl 3-2. Then the next year was a little
two,
bit of
two
a
years ago.
blowout, and then the year after that, it's like the highest scoring one, 70 points from each team.
Yeah,
Did defenses just disappear?
with New England in that one again. So what happened to their defense between 2 years?
You know what happened? Their defense went from amazing to nothing.
And their offense being the greatest.
Did they take all the defensive guys and turn them into offensive guys? And is that what happened?
I wish I knew.
Talk about overcorrecting.
And then the fourth Earth Bowl was, I believe, the only Momo appearance, which they won against Wallerock 31-28.
That's true. Momo won that one. The one
Oh,
before
wait,
that,
no, they did actually have a Earth Bowl appearance 2 years prior to that, where they lost to New Jerusalem by also 3 points in overtime.
So Sarajevo has yet to win an Earth Bowl, but they are hot on the heels of an Earth Bowl.
Yeah, they had on the third Earth Bowl they lost to New Jerusalem 45-21,
And then
lost in the first Earth Bowl to Wallerock 45-27.
that's another interesting thing about the numbering. The first Earth Bowl is just first Earth Bowl. It's not like Earth Bowl 1, it's first Earth Bowl. Then all the other ones are Earth Bowl 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
And the pick is from Arusha.
Yeah, Arusha has taken Claude Klein, a linebacker from Seville Tech, with a C ranking.
Next on the board, next on the clock is Sarajevo.
Yeah, just as we were talking about them.
So, do you think in the next few years that's when, like maybe this year, that's Sarajevo's year?
I think it might really be Sarajevo's. Also, where will be the Earth Bowl this season?
Oh, that's a good question. Let's see. Yeah, the past year we had it in New Jerusalem City. This year is going to be Cork, Ireland.
Cork, Ireland.
Yeah, if you look on the YouTube channel, there's a trailer for it, the Earth Bowl. It's a little bit down there now, but
I
it's
probably watched it, but I forgot about it.
Yeah, but it is very Irish themed because that is the theme. So yeah, Cork is our next Earth Bowl. Earth Bowl XII announcement, 14 views 2 months ago. So yeah, we used an Irish song as the song for that trailer. So interesting, interesting thing there. Whoever wins is going to play, or whoever gets there is going to play in Cork, Ireland. So for European teams, it won't be as big of as of a jump as last year's was.
Yeah, I think, but I do think Sarajevo might be their year this year.
Interesting. Have we had a Sarajevo Earth Bowl yet?
I'm like in Sarajevo.
Yes, we have. Earth Bowl 5.
April 5 was in Sarajevo. And that, interestingly enough, that was the one that Cork won. So do you,
Yeah, Cork.
so
Interesting.
you think
So
Sarajevo?
Cork. Sorry. Oh, the pick is in.
Oh, okay. The pick is in. Um, yeah. Sarajevo has taken Martin Schaffer, wide receiver from Aviation Force Academy, with the C ranking.
Next is Dallas is on the clock. Yeah, but that would be an interesting little stat there. Cork wins the Earth Bowl in Sarajevo. Sarajevo wins the Earth Bowl in Cork.
Yeah, that could be interesting. That would. Yeah.
Little turn of events there. That would be kind of fun to see. We'll see if that ends up happening or if there's a different thing in mind and we just forget about what we just said. But
Yeah.
that could be a prediction, everybody. It could be a telltale sign. I would definitely not be shocked if they make it.
Yeah.
Is who else? Let's see who else has been. The only city to ever get the Earth Bowl to come back is New Jerusalem City.
Yeah.
The original Earth Bowl was played there, and then our most recent one was played there.
Yeah, that does make sense.
A little bit of home field advantage there for the last one. That might have been the reason why the Brown Bears actually won it, was because it was in New Jerusalem.
Yeah, that could have helped a lot.
They did win 69-30, so maybe that score would have been a little bit closer if it somewhere else. I wonder if anyone else has won the Earth Bowl in their home city.
I'm not sure.
Before we ponder that question, the pick is in from Dallas.
Right, okay. Dallas has taken Devin Rowland, offensive lineman from Cambridge, with a C ranking.
Next on the clock, Lisbon, second to last pick. Yeah, let me check that. Okay, let me see if anybody has actually won the Earth Bowl in their hometown. Here, can you pull up
I'm looking at it.
winners of the Earth Bowl? I'll pull up which cities got which Earth Bowl, and I'll say them, and you do that?
I'm trying to see, but I don't think anyone else won in their own home city.
Stockholm, then Wilson won. St. Catherine is when I think New Jerusalem won again. Then Atlanta has been Malmo won.
Yeah, no, there's been only New Jerusalem has had that.
Have we ever had a El Rock Earth Bowl?
I don't think so. I don't think we have.
We didn't win there. Jerusalem didn't win there. Paris didn't win there. Tampa didn't win there. Yeah, nobody. No, and we also haven't had one on the moon yet, so maybe that will be an exciting thing. Next year, we're going to Berlin for the Earth Bowl. So
maybe 3 years from now.
Maybe in a little bit. So not this year, not next year. I know after Berlin, we're in talks to maybe get it put in Arabia. So maybe the year after that, we should put it in Wallerock or Arisdale. Maybe we'll see who takes it first. And the pick is in.
Lisbon has taken Herbert Bullock, offensive lineman from Manchester Tech, with the C ranking.
And the final pick of the third round, New Jerusalem, is on the clock. We will see who gets taken last. Who will it be? The final pick of the third round, and then tomorrow, come back and watch the fourth round.
Yeah.
A crazy season ahead of us. We're about to hit 3 hours on this stream. We're about to hit 3 hours. We probably won't hit 3 hours just because it's the last pick, but we're almost hit 3 hours on this stream, which is a bit of a jump from, I think, like 1 hour we had last time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it should be said there was a little bit of a delay at first, and we did have a few other segments in there. So the actual draft itself was a little bit different.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Sorry.
We're almost done though. So
Yes. And for the last pick, New Jerusalem gets in a little bit early. New Jerusalem just input their pick.
they have taken Christopher Huerta, an offensive lineman from Dixieland State, with a C ranking.
And that will close out the WFL draft this time.
We will see you tomorrow.
Yes, we will see everyone tomorrow for the 4th round. Is there anything else you want to say, or do you want to just go ahead and end it?
Yeah, no, I have nothing else to say, so play the outro.
Go ahead. See everyone tomorrow. Go check out the website and the social medias and the other YouTube channels, or the other YouTube videos. Bye.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
This has been the WFL Draft. Thanks for watching.